Miguel Durrani back here on the CRP, and we're still going over the wage rage odds. It's the start of fight week, and we got big cards coming up. Friday, April 26th, Matchroom and Eddie Hearn, businessman in boxing. They are at the Forum in Inglewood. A big card, 10 fights, and a lot of them are getting odds at the sport books already. A lot of crush odds. I mean, for example, you got Scott Quigg against Jayson Velez. Quigg, obviously a former world champion, a minus 27.75 favorite. Velez paying back plus 13.50. That's a 10-rounder. You got former world champion Jessie Vargas in the super welterweight bout, taking on veteran Humberto Soto. Soto has like 80 fights. Vargas minus 650 favorite. Soto plus 475. You got Ronny Rios at minus 4,000 taking on Daniel Olea. So that's about what you get. You got Emanuel Taylor on the card. He's taking on Shakhram Giyasov. Giyasov minus 5,500 favorite over Emanuel Taylor. So just goes to show they're bringing a European talent in there as well. At the top of the card, this thing gets interesting though. 2 world title fights in the lower weight classes, and they're both doozies. I mean, in terms of at super bantamweight, you've got IBF world champion TJ Doheny. He's coming to the fight against the WBA world champion Daniel Roman. Roman 26-2-1. Doheny 21-0 heading into his showdown here, and the odds are not favorable for Doheny. Doheny at plus 525 right now, and Daniel Roman at minus 750 favorite as he enters fight week here. So, Doheny from Australia, out of Ireland, born in Ireland, now from Australia. He may have a little bit of, two people, two like Irish and Australian fans that back him, or he may be under the radar for both of them and not have a lot of fans in terms of because he travels or whatever. So it's hard to say. He won his world title in Japan. He defended it once in Madison Square Garden. Now he's back at the Forum in Inglewood. So, he's fought in Australia. He's fought in Bangkok. He's fought in Boston a couple of times in the past. So Doheny has some experience there. And against Roman, he's facing a guy that, has been through fighting against British fighters, although in the United States. He's also fought in Japan and is battle tested. And he's held the WBA world title now for 3 title defenses. So this would be his 4th title defense. They're unifying titles here. So that's big stuff. In the super bantamweight division, that's 122 pounds. And the main event of the evening comes to us at the super flyweight, which is 115 pounds. This is a rematch. Wisaksil Wangek. He also goes by Sor Rungvisai. This is the guy that dispatched Roman Gonzalez. Gonzalez is the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world until he met, Rungvisai. The bottom line there was they didn't believe it. Rungvisai was asked to do it again. He did it a second time and beat him. Now, throughout his rise to be the #1 contender or the #1 pound-per-pound fighter, Gonzalez always had a rivalry with Juan Francisco Estrada. Estrada considered one of his tougher fights on the rise up. Estrada had been hunting Gonzalez for a long time. Once Gonzalez went down, Estrada wound up with Wangek. The bottom line there was that they already fought once on the Superfly cards, which are excellent cards that have been going down out there, and in California. And Estrada and Wangek already went at it in February of last year, and it was a majority decision for Wangek. So you got to say Estrada's in the neighborhood, but Wangek, a strong fighter, now coming into his own. After taking on out Chocolatito Gonzalez, and doing it twice, he's now a world level fighter. He came to us, a local fighter from Thailand, and now he's a world level fighter. He took out he took the Estrada fight shortly after beating Gonzalez for a second time, and then that was in February last year. Until this fight materialized, which has been more than a year, he went home and he fought a couple of 10-rounder and a world title defense, although he was a major favorite. So he stayed busy in 2018, going home and fighting twice while the Estrada rematch got made. So here he is back in the States. I think Wangek is one of the top pound-for-pound fighters in the world, and probably one of the top 5 pound-for-pound fighters in the world. At this weight class, he's been managing with Gonzalez and Estrada a level of talent that is super high in terms of opponents. If he does it again to Estrada this time, comes away with a win, and actually improves on the situation, because against Gonzalez he won a majority decision the first time and then knocked him out in 4. If he can do the same to Estrada, he got through a majority decision. If he stops Estrada this time and improves on his performance, Wangek is going to make an argument for being perhaps top 3 and definitely top 5 in the pound-for-pound weight class. That goes down this Friday, April 26th from the Forum. That's DAZN coming to us with a major card, 10 fights, a lot of them getting attention at the sport books, 2 world title fights at the top of the card. This is the odds review at the start of fight week. We'll have picks and a look at the odds after the weigh-ins later on here at the CRP.